everybody. Great to have you back here at Serving Up Plumbing with David Butler. Today we're going to be talking about the installation of gas regulators, where and how you should install them, and why you do certain things with them. And there are some of these things that are strictly David Butler things, and we'll talk about those. But first, please make sure and hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and let me know what you'd like to see in the future. Let's talk about the installation of gas regulators. If you need a review of the different types of gas regulators, up here you'll see a link to take you back to my previous video on different types of gas regulators. All right? So, two places that we generally install gas regulators. Either inline installation, which means it's somewhere in the middle of the gas system. Could be outside the house, could be in the attic. Never is it under the house. We do not install gas regulators under the house. At least that's my rule. You don't want to do that because they do sometimes emit gas, and we don't want any gas trapped under a house. In the attic's fine because most attics are ventilated. If it is a sealed foam attic, we don't want to install a regulator in a sealed foam attic without some sort of ventilation in that attic, even though it's a ventless regulator. The second place is at an appliance, kind of like a point of use regulator or end of run regulator. This would be like we just installed a new tankless and we ran medium pressure 2-pound gas to it. We would put a regulator right at that tankless unit, or a generator maybe. We would put it right at the generator. That way we can get lots of gas supply to that appliance on a smaller pipe. This is the way we often do when we have to resize a gas system for tankless units or generators. Let's take a look at some pictures of an installation of inline regulators. If you'll notice on these inline regulators, we have a ball valve on the inlet and a ball valve on the outlet of the regulator. We also have unions on both sides of the regulators. Why do we do this? First of all, for the medium pressure test of 10 pounds, we have to isolate that regulator. If we don't, we're going to damage the regulator. You never want to put 10 pounds on the regulator. Refer to my gas test video. Now, we do also have unions right there. Why do we have the unions? So, if we have a problem with the regulator, we can shut off both valves, isolate it, and remove the regulator without having to disturb the rest of the system, cut any pipe, or do anything. You can take those unions loose, pull the regulator out, put a new one in, and you're back in business. So, we want ball valves on inlet and outlet, unions on the inlet and outlet, and this is anytime we have an inline regulator, whether it be outside, inside, in the attic, anywhere. We always need this. Now, this is not code required. This is a David Butler rule, as I mentioned earlier. Because we said earlier, code is a minimum set of standards. I don't believe in doing the minimum plumbing job at someone's home. Therefore, at Milestone, we always go above and beyond. The minimum set of standards is not enough in my opinion. We need those shutoff valves and unions. One other additional thing you can add, and you'll see in some of these photos, there can be a T on the outlet side of the regulator. That T is for testing. It makes it a little easier to test both sides of your regulator. We're usually going to put one gauge at the gas meter. But if we've got a hybrid system, we're going to have regulators involved. And that means we can't put the 10 pounds on the regulator. We've got the ball valves in place. So we have to isolate it and put pressure on both sides of it. Therefore, if you've got a T in the line right next to your regulator, the inspector is going to be looking at the regulator anyways. He can see your gauge right there. You can put your downstream side of your regulator test right there. And again, if we have a regulator in a line, we want to make sure and test both sides at 10 pounds. The code will allow you to test the lower side at 3 pounds. But again, a David Butler rule. The possibility of that failure in that regulator means that it could at some point have medium pressure on the downstream side. The regulator fails, it lets full pressure through. We want to make sure that that secondary line that's downstream holds pressure as well. So, that's the inline regulator installation. And if you look at the pictures, it gives you several good examples of it, inside and out. All right, now let's talk about the end of run regulator, or the point of use at the appliance. This is a little different. We don't have to use 2 ball valves and unions and all of that because we put the regulator right after our ball valve. Now, I will say this, and this goes also for the inline regulator. We always need to use full port, full open ball valves. Regulators are running a lot of pressure. We need a lot of flow. The small red handle ball valves are made for appliances at low pressure. We need to use full port ball valves to get the maximum flow through our regulators. So make sure whenever we're doing large volume appliances like generators, tankless units, anything of that nature, even a large cooktop, maybe like a Viking or Decor, large with a griddle and everything that people have, make sure and use a full open ball valve so we get plenty of gas flow to make that appliance operate properly. We put the ball valve in at our appliance. Normally, this is where you would just hook up the appliance connector, the gas flex as we call it. But if you have medium pressure, you're going to put the regulator right after the installation of your ball valve. As I said, we don't have to worry about unions or ball valve on both sides because this is going directly to the appliance. Then we hook our gas flex directly into the regulator. The gas flex works as a union. You can disconnect the gas flex and then screw your regulator off in the event that you ever have a problem with it. So we don't need the 2 unions and 2 ball valves. One key point anytime you're installing an indoor regulator, you have to install it horizontally. We talked about this when we were talking about different types of regulators in a previous video, but you have to install it horizontally. You cannot put it vertically. It will not operate right. Outdoor regulators, you've got to make sure and install it where the vent is pointing down so no moisture or rain can get in the vent. They can go vertical, horizontal, a lot of different ways. You just got to make sure that the vent is not going to be turned up or any way that it can get moisture in it. And that's it. We have 2 ways to install regulators. We have inline regulators, 2 ball valves, 2 unions, an additional T if you'd like for easier testing. We have end of run regulators or point of use, however you want to name it. That's right at the appliance. Those are installed with 1 ball valve and the union is your gas flex. Now remember, these are natural gas regulators. Stay tuned for my video that has LP gas regulators in it. And also remember, we don't want regulators in a house if we don't have to. We always try and keep low pressure gas if it's at all possible. But because we add large volume appliances these days, there's no other way to do it. But when you do it, make sure you do it safe, make sure you test everything properly, and make sure there's no gas leaks on that, right? Because there are no acceptable gas leaks. I hope this video has been helpful for you today. Remember to subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions for future videos. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and just tell your friends the Butler did it.